let's switch the conversation a little bit and get into relationship building, as August was.
I mean, that's the next step of his journey, really, right? He's gone there, he's gained the the knowledge needed, and now he's in this industry which is very relationship based. So so it fits right in.
Yeah, absolutely. As August was kind of mentioning at the beginning of our show, our business, we're in real estate private equity. So it's really a black and white business model. I mean, we got to find good deals, and we partner with investors to fund the projects. So I wanted to talk about, obviously, relationship building, sales, investor relations, communications. To date, I've raised about $30 million for our real estate projects from high net worth individuals and family offices, because of the trust that I built with these individuals and the relationships that I built with them, the relationships that I formed. So I wanted to, kind of establish a correlations between seeking investors like we do at CPI Capital, as there's kind of a compliance component in the finance industry, and then talk about, searching for clients. We seek investors, which is different than selling like a lower pitch kind of deal, right? So I was going to say an example, our investments, minimum investment's $50K. It's much different than trying to get somebody to subscribe for, let's say, $29.99. So from your experience, John, and the strategies that you've used, what do you feel are some similarities and differences in strategies between raising capital and then selling a product, right? And then how do you build connections, start conversations without becoming a pest, right? And then talk to us about your journey and all of this.
Well, I learned a long time ago from Tom Hopkins, another one of my many mentors, right? Who's a real estate guy like yourselves. And I learned from Tom tie downs. And I came up with a tie down, which was really worked for me very, very well. And that was this. Could I share an idea that's been a benefit to, and I fill in the blank. If I'm talking to real estate people, okay, can I share an idea that's been a benefit to realtors? If I'm talking to an insurance guy, can I share an idea that's been a benefit to insurance people? If I'm talking to an accountant, same, lawyer, same, doctor, same. And what that does is it personalizes it to their professional life, where they say, hey, you know what? Yeah, tell me, you work with people in my industry. Tell me what's worked. And that idea of sharing an idea, because the backup to that is what if the person says, well, no, you can't share an idea. I said, well, I don't want to say this, but are you closed-minded? Do you think every good idea has been invented? There was a time in the United States that they almost closed the patent office, believe it or not, because they thought every good idea had been invented. And why no system? We've got colored television sets, AI, computers, cell phones, multitudes of other things. I mean, come on, right? So it's to get that, I call it verbal tennis. It's kind of like I hit the ball over the net, they hit it back. It's to get that dialogue going where we break down that barrier and they go, all right, what is it? What do you got? So to me, that's how I've built a lot of relationships with people is just by asking them, can I share an idea that's been a benefit to people? Assuming I know what they're doing, by the way. Okay.
So you tailor make it to that individual and their background. I mean, in our space, we call it figuring out the person's pain point. A lot of time we were talking to a lot of physicians, they make a lot of money and their issue is not money because they're already making a lot of money. So us pitching them, hey, you can invest $100K and in a couple of years, in 5 years, double your money, or in a few years, time and a half that. That's not a big part of what they want to do, making money. More is about this idea of time freedom because their time is so scarce. So we're like, hey, if you have this alternative source of income, that will reduce your need to having to work so much.
Or retiring earlier, so they don't have to work the hours until they're 65, right?
Well, I even go one other step on that, depending on how the conversation goes. Because, some people, it's like, okay, tell me what you got. Others, it's like, well, how can this help me? And I'll ask them personal questions. Personal questions like, this is, by the way, I sold insurance at different points in my life too. I've always kept my foot in the insurance business. My first Herbalife had a problem with the FDA in '84. I got in the insurance business for 3 years. I've always stayed licensed because being in the insurance business, you stay up on economics. You can't not. You get all this data from all of these great company actuaries that tell you all these things going on. Anyway, that being said, I always say to people, listen, depending on their age, okay, if I'm talking to a guy my age, all right, I talk to them about retirement income because that's their sweet spot. I'm not going to talk to them about a college education fund for their kid. Their kids are grown. Their kids are 40 years old in theory, right? So I'm going to get it to their sweet spot. Hey, have you saved enough for retirement between whatever your company pension is and your Social Security? Yeah, I'm a couple $1,000s a month short, John. Well, if I could show you a way to make up that difference with a few hours a day around your schedule, around your golf game, around your doctor's appointments, around whatever. It's like it gets the conversation going. It also gets their mind going. Yeah, you know what? I can see that. It's like I'm not talking about my product right now, my compensation. I'm not getting into any of that. What I'm doing is I'm kind of creating for them the environment where they see themselves doing something with me to build a business part time that'll make up for somewhere that they're deficient. Now, if I'm talking to a couple in their 20s and then they just had their first kid, I'll say to them, something like, "Hey, listen, I can show you a way to send Junior to Harvard or McGill or wherever, okay, or Stanford. When the time comes, who knows what it's going to cost, right? It's already astronomical. It'll probably be more astronomical. It might be free. I don't know. But at the end of the day, here's what I can tell you: if you don't prepare, okay, it's going to be a problem. So at the end of the day, if I could show you a way to create that college education fund for, little Joey over here, great. And if little Joey doesn't go to college, it's your money.